evening, everyone, and welcome to Nashua's ETV broadcast of high school football here at Stellos Stadium. We are live. Tonight it is going to be the Goffstown Grizzlies coming in here with a record of 5-3, and they're going to face Bishop Guertin, the host. Guertin coming in here at 1-6. So it's actually Goffstown's only 4-3, my correction. But the Grizzlies started off 0-3, Jason Roby, and they are on a roll right now, and they are headed to the playoffs. They can go a long way to making the playoffs if they win tonight.
No question, Tom. Justin Huff's boys are definitely control their own destiny here. If they win out, they are in. They got some help last night with a Merrimack victory over North and a Central victory over Concord. The tiebreakers work in their favor, so if they take care of their business here tonight, they find themselves with 1 week to play against a winless Keene team, and they could definitely find themselves in the playoffs. Bishop Guertin, on the other hand, had a couple of good efforts here as of late. A young program under Coach Trisciani, a 1-6 football team, as you mentioned earlier, but really playing some okay football. They have some skill position players. They've been flying around. They've been given some pretty good efforts here as of late, and hopefully we're going to see a good one here tonight.
We'll have to see if Joey De Silva is the quarterback for Guertin. He took a shot in last week's game against Bedford and didn't get up right away, so not sure if he's going to be playing or not. I hadn't heard anything all week long about him not being available, but he really got popped. So
in talking to some of the Goffstown coaches earlier, they had alluded to the fact that it was quite a shot on film, and they had seen it and said that while it wasn't a dirty play, it certainly was a physical play.
It was a physical play to the upper torso and barely helmet to helmet.
Right.
So we'll see if De Silva is able to play. Joey Lupo, Jason Roby, has got speed to burn. If he gets the ball in space, you better watch out because he could be gone.
Lupo is a young man that every coach coming in here has to make sure his players are aware of. He can do it on the kick returns. He can do it from the offensive side. He's just a playmaker. Saw him with a scoop and scored defensively. So he can do a lot of things for the Cardinals. Obviously, they want to get the ball in his hands as much as possible, and it'll be Goffstown's job to slow him down. If they do that, they'll take care of their business.
Well, I'll tell you, when I left their high school field earlier in the season when they lost to Nashua North, I did not see a playoff team. They are one now. Things have changed for them. They've gotten much better. I believe tonight they're going to start Jarrett Hinault, a sophomore quarterback.
Sophomore quarterback, I believe, at quarterback tonight for Goffstown, and getting the nod from the coaches. So that's
going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and again, you're talking about a program in Goffstown that has been very successful over the years. Not far removed from a state championship win at the University of New Hampshire a couple of years ago. This is a program that has been on the rise and is hoping to stay where they are. You mentioned 0-3 start, but it a lot of times has to do with the folks that you're playing up front. They're getting better. They're peaking at the right time. They could go into this thing on a six-game winning streak, and they could cause some problems for whoever they face in the first round.
And I was at a great football game last night, Merrimack beating Nashua North, but I'll tell you this, I'd love to see that happen again. Not a certainty. A lot will depend on what Merrimack does against Bedford.
Right.
And, Goffstown, if they can finish in the 4th seed, Nashua North would, if they beat Concord, would be the 3rd seed, and it depends on who's 1-2, and one of these teams will end up playing a really good football team.
If the cards are aligned, no pun intended, Nashua North travels back to Merrimack High School in a game that was a 32-24 game or something to that effect. It was a one-score game, and I think you've got two very good football teams, but I'm really excited, Tom, I'll tell you, to see this Bishop Guertin team. I've seen them on film. I've seen them live a couple of times. I know they're playing better as the season progresses, and when you're a young coach like Coach Trisciani, you have to really keep things positive. It's a program thing where, the off-season is fast approaching. You've got a couple games left on your schedule, but I'm sure Coach Trisciani and his staff are already looking to the off-season to see what can they build on, what can they improve on.
No doubt about it, and the one thing that they'll have in their favor, numbers. This is probably the biggest Guertin team in terms of numbers I've seen in the last couple of years, and so that's helped. Trisciani, you know what it's like to coach and teach in the building. I think it makes a big difference. You probably got some kids that maybe you wouldn't have gotten if you weren't in the building.
Right, big difference. You see the kids in class, you see them in the hallways, you might go talk to them and the you know, there are other teams that are playing, basketball teams, lacrosse teams, you know, and even the soccer teams. We would go get our kickers from the soccer team. So you talk to those kids, and you wouldn't see them otherwise. You wouldn't see them otherwise. And,
right.
And being in the building, you certainly get to talk to them and pique their interest. You can even go outside and maybe throw a ball around, kick a ball around during a phys ed class and see something. And it makes a difference. It really does.
And I think that was a big deal in Guertin when they picked Trisciani. It was a natural choice for them. If De Silva doesn't play at quarterback or splits time at quarterback, you'll probably see Hayden Moses, the junior, who would be out there. He was the starter at the beginning of the season. I think one of the players that we haven't talked about because he hasn't played this year, he had knee surgery. Brett Anderson, if he comes back next year for Guertin, he's he's just an all-around good athlete. He was the pitcher in high school. He's a junior this year, come back for senior year. This Guertin team could be sitting at this point a year from now a lot different than where they are right now.
No question. And football is a funny game. One year you could be 1 or 2 win team. The next year you could be in the semifinals or the finals. So a lot has to do with how they build on that, how they progress moving forward, and certainly what their off season looks like. It also depends on, you know, as a private school, what's coming in next year, the young freshman class, who's going to be playing in those freshman and junior varsity games next year for Bishop Guertin, who's transferring in. So a lot of upside for this BG football team moving forward.
One of the things that Guertin probably has suffered from, because they are a smaller team, they're not very big, has been defense. They haven't been able to stop teams from scoring in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that's an issue as well.
Yeah, you have to start on the defensive side first. I mean, listen, everybody loves offense. Everybody loves scoring points. And if you talk to an offensive coach, they'll tell you, if we win 96-95, it's a win. And 96 points looks great. But the teams that usually end up doing very well in the postseason are teams that can rest on their defensive laurels. Every team that's won the state title going back the last few years, they've given up between 14 and 12 points on average to their opponents. So you got to play great defense, and it's a great thing. And it gives your, a lot of people don't know this, but it gives your offense confidence too. When your defense can go out there and shut down the other team, you know you can be a little more aggressive offensively because your defense is going to answer the challenges should they arise. As the Bishop Guertin team runs onto the field, you can see them in their green shirts, their gold pants, gold helmets, running to the sideline.
If you're looking at defense, one of the names, Jason Roby, that you'll be calling a lot tonight will be Ethan Holt, who is a junior linebacker, and also Joey Lupo plays defense as well. But Holt is a very exceptional linebacker. He's got some speed and is usually almost always around the ball. We're waiting for the band to take formation, and they will be playing the national anthem in just a moment. I'm sure we'll get the instructions from Pete Palladino to stand for everybody with the band getting ready. And here we are, the Bishop Guertin Band with the national anthem. And after that, Jason Roby will take you the rest of the way through the first quarter until I return.
All right, we are just about ready here for the opening coin toss as The Bishop Guertin captains assemble at the 50-yard line with tonight's officials. Goffstown Grizzlies across the way with their captains and the officials. Once again, big game here tonight for both teams for different reasons. If you're Goffstown, you're looking to continue on your current winning streak with an opportunity to get into the state tournament. And if you're Bishop Guertin, you're looking to build on a season that really, from a win-loss standpoint, probably hasn't been everything you expected. But numbers, as Tom King alluded to earlier, are up in the program. Kids are buying in, and the future is very bright.
One thing before I go down, Jason, Charlie Keith, the usual starting quarterback, Charlie Keith for Goffstown, knee injury, in a brace, not playing tonight. That's why Hanault is getting the start.
So Hanault will get the start tonight. The young sophomore with an opportunity here, and that's what really football is. You're going to, this point in the year, you're going to have those injuries that you have to deal with. And for this Goffstown team, a situation arises where you hope you've gotten your guys ready in practices. You hope you've gotten your backups enough repetition during practice. As I look over at assistant coach Nick Hammond, and he gives me the thumbs up, letting me know that all is well in the land of the Grizzly. So as we get ready here for the opening kickoff, look down at the 50-yard line. And it appears that Goffstown has won the toss, and they will receive the opening kickoff. Jason Roby and Tom King here with you tonight on Nashua's ETV. Stellos Stadium, Mata Field, brand new scoreboards. Beautiful addition to one of the finest facilities in all of New Hampshire. And Bishop Guertin looking to get back on that winning track. Goffstown looking to secure their spot or take another step towards their spot in the postseason. If everything works out as Goffstown hopes it does, at least hopes in terms of getting to the postseason, potentially they would face an opening round opponent of Bedford. But you have to play the best at some point. So if they can get into the tournament, chances are they would face that Bedford Bulldog team, an undefeated team right now, and the best on this side of the cluster. See the Bishop Guertin team now taking the field as they get ready to kick the ball off. And your kicker here for Bishop Guertin looks like number 49, maybe Calvin Jazokas. We'll see if that is in fact Calvin. Have a diamond formation deep for Goffstown. Wonder if they're doing that old dealer play on the kick return. We'll have to see. Any shenanigans up Coach Huff's sleeve. A rainmaker of a kickoff, and that's going to bounce, and it's a live ball. And you can hear the coaches yelling, get on that ball, because if that stays in bounds and Bishop Guertin gets it, it's their ball right there. But the ball will go out of bounds. It'll be a penalty on Bishop Guertin, and all indications, it looks like Goffstown is going to make BG kick it off again, and they'll back up 5 yards. Beautiful night here for football, the kind of weather you would expect at a high school game, a little chilly. Nice up here in the booth, but a great night for football nonetheless. It appears that the Guertin kicker is wearing 42. We don't have a 42 on our roster. There's definitely a 43. My assistant looking through her program right now. Patrick Madden getting the shout out right now is the kicker, and here comes the dealer. The dealer is a great kick return play where you don't quite know where that ball is going unless you follow that second row of guys. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, Coach. All right. So Goffstown will set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line on the return. A good return. And the ball carrier was taken down from behind. So potentially could have been a big play. All right. They come out in a tight end trips formation. It looks like an outside zone play. And he's going to go for just about 10 yards on first down. And it appeared that the ball carrier there was number 33, Jack Stinnett, the running back for Goffstown. So just like that, Goffstown starts out 1st and 10. Tight slot down to the right side. A bounce out by Stinnett as he tries to get the edge, and he does. And he'll be ridden out of bounds there by number 7, Bishop Guertin's Brendan Callahan. But not until he picks up about 8, so a 2nd down and short here. We'll see if Goffstown takes a shot. It's always a favored thing of teams to take a shot on 2nd and short, because you know you can come back on 3rd down with good field position and run a play for the necessary yardage. And this is a quarterback keeper here. Interesting play call for the quarterback, Jarrett Hanault, the sophomore, to pull that and keep it as he goes for no gain. He saw something, but he gets stacked up by his own lineman in the backfield on a pole, and unfortunately doesn't get the yardage necessary. So 3rd down here and 2. And this time he'll give it, hand it off to Stinnett again. So a lot of times what you want to do is you want to give your young quarterback, you want to keep him pumped up, you want to give him some confidence, and you just let him hand the ball off. One of the things that Stinnett's going to need to do is not admire his work after he hands the ball off. He needs to carry out his fake. And we are in what we call NASCAR mode, where Goffstown is just lining up and running plays as quickly as they can. A lot of people don't understand that the spread formation doesn't necessarily mean hurry up offense. They can take the entire play clock. Goffstown is not. They are going fast, and so BG has to set their defense quickly. Stinnett again, and he is going to be stacked up there. And a great tackle. And it appears that there for Guertin that time looked like their linebacker, number 52, I believe it was Jacob Schofield. If that was him, I believe it was. And he's barking the signals, and they bring pressure. Schofield comes, and that time, because of that stunt coming off the edge, you saw there Jarrett Hanault had to break the pocket and throw on the run, and his receivers hadn't turned to look for the ball as yet. So 4th down and 8 here now for Goffstown. And they're going to slow things down to try and get this right. We'll see what they dial up. Head coach Justin Huff puts his Grizzlies in, it looks like a trips formation here to the field. A slot trips look, split left, 1 back to the quarterback's left. 3-step drop, fires over the middle. What could have been an interception turns into a touchdown for the Grizzlies. So right there, Hanault's pass to number 4, Sean Leahy. And that ball probably should have been intercepted and going the other way. But sometimes when you're on a 4-game win streak and you're riding high and things work out in your favor, and they did just there. So 6-0, and a big confidence builder for Hanault as the kick is up and it is good. That was number 38, David Gibson, a senior kicking specialist for the Grizzlies. Your score right now with 9:36 to play in the first quarter. Goffstown with a 7-0 lead. So one of the things you're going to look at here is if you're Bishop Guertin, rather, you have a 4th down play, a 4th down and long. And on a 4th down and long, you need to make 1 stop. And unfortunately for Guertin, they were not able to do so on that particular play. Deep for BG right now, you have number 22, Ryan Bew, and number 7, Brendan Callahan, it looks like. Goffstown set to kick off. Or rather, that's 32. We had spoken about him earlier. I was going to say Joey Lupo
And they want to keep the ball away from that young man. They are very aware of where he is. So they short kick the ball, and it's taken by the up man. And he's going to be stacked up. Looked like number 4, Sean Leahy, on the initial takedown. And that was Toby Therian, the 6'2", 158-pound junior, on the return. So Bishop Guertin will set up shop. 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. We'll see what head coach John Trisciani has dialed in as he sets the Cardinals to a trips left formation, a slot trips left, split right. The back is to the quarterback's right. And they're going to run an inside play. Looked like maybe a trap play, and he busted it. And he'll run out of bounds on that trap play. That was number 11, Hayden Moses. He looked to be stopped in the backfield, and then he just busted out, and he's run out of bounds on the Goffstown sideline, but not before he picks up a 1st down for the Cardinals. And again, here we are in the spread formation. Doesn't necessarily mean hurry up, it just means we don't huddle. Barking out the play. Again, trips left to the field, split right. And that's going to be a quarterback keeper. So that time, Moses on the keeper pulls it and picks up another 1st down. Right now, this Guertin team in 2 plays is just gashing the Grizzly defense. Goffstown in their 3-3 stack alignment. 3 down linemen, 3 backers behind with 2 overhang players, and it usually looks like a cover 3 behind it. However, not necessarily here. Trips again to the field. And it looked like a speed option type play that was doomed from the get-go. Moses really had nowhere to go, and it looked like the read key sat and did his job and was able to take Moses down for very little to no gain. 2nd down, and we'll call it 10 for the Cardinals as the offense flips sides now. You're going to go twins to both sides. Moses calling out the signals for the Cardinals. And this time they're going to run the stretch play. Nope, Moses is going to keep it again. So clearly Goffstown well aware, look, you're not going to run speed sweep into the boundary, friends. You're going to have Moses keep the ball and run right up the middle. So 3rd and 9 now for the Cardinals as they look to the sideline to get the play. And again, they're going to go trips to the field with a split end to the right side. That is Austin Hisco. And they're going to run an inside zone play, but Moses is going to keep it again, and he will pay the price. That was number 74 for the Grizzlies, Mike Terrazzano, on the play. He picks up a couple. So Moses pulling the ball and keeping it on a few of these runs, and it'll set up a 4th down and a long 3 here for the Cardinals. As they look to the sideline to get the signals. Receivers will swap sides as Hisco comes to the near side left. Ball's in the middle of the field, so you have twins to both sides. The tailback's number 22, Ryan Pugh. He is to the right side, and it appears that we have a delay of game call. And again, as we talked about earlier, just because you run the spread offense doesn't mean you are immune to getting a delay of game penalty. You always have to be looking at that back judge. When he puts his hand up in the air, you have 5 seconds. Unfortunately, if you're looking to the sideline to get the play call, you're not going to be as focused on that official. And that time, young Hayden Moses did not see the official's hand go up, and as a result, that's going to cost him. Or maybe not. As we look out here, it appears that Guertin got the timeout in time. So the flag flew. Hopefully these eyes saw it correctly. The flag flew, but Guertin had already called timeout. So it will remain 4th down and 3. So a heads-up play there by the Bishop Guertin sideline. recognizing that there wasn't a lot of time left on that play clock. 4th down and 3 now for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. And I think this is going to be a pretty good game here. It's going to come down to, as we talked about earlier, who's going to play defense, who's going to tackle. In the early going, both teams appear able to move the ball. Not sure if anybody's on the line of scrimmage down here. Looks like Hisco is off the ball, but apparently not. He will roll to his right, does Woods, and the pass is complete. Try and get you a number there. That appears that the ball was complete to number 87, and that is Kyle Baker. So Moses on the rollout. Fires on the run, and it's good for another Bishop Guertin 1st down. As BG quickly gets on the ball here, they line up in a wide trips look. Slot trips again, Hisco, the single receiver. Moses calling signals, and it looks like it's going to be a follow me as Moses calls his own number again, almost like a quarterback isolation play where he fakes the inside zone and then follows that halfback, or we used to call it the F, follows that halfback as if he was running an isolation play. Halfback serves as the lead blocker on the linebacker in that 3-3 stack. We look here again, now we have a tight end to the short side. So we have a tight end flanker and a slot to the field. And an inside handoff here goes once again to number 22, Ryan Bew. And he gets a pretty good gain on 2nd down, so that'll set up a 3rd down and mid. 3rd down along 5, maybe 5.5 for the Cardinals. 5:22 to play here in the opening quarter. Goffstown a 7-0 lead. And they'll switch the sides of the back, and they'll come in motion. Motion to trips into the boundary. Sets up a pop pass that's going to be intercepted. And a great read right there by Goffstown's number 33, Jack Stinnett. And he did a great job. He was not buying the motion into the boundary to set up a tight end trips look. So right now, Goffstown's offense comes onto the field. And a great drive for Bishop Guertin with nothing to show for it, except maybe field position, depending on what their defense can do right here. Interested to see if Goffstown will take a shot this close into their own territory. They're just going to run an inside handoff here. And that looked like that was number 26, Joshua Janot, on the carry. And here's that replay we just talked about. The pop pass, and it's just a great drop by the linebacker, number 33, Jack Stinnett. He's able to pick that ball off, tip it to himself, and end what was a pretty good threat opening drive for Guertin. Guertin showing a lot of pressure up front here. And one of the things about blitzing, if you're going to blitz, it's great when it works, but if you don't, it's off to the races. It's going to set up a 3rd and manageable for Goffstown. Goffstown barking signals. Guertin again standing and showing pressure, so they check with the sideline, and each side changes the play. They change the front both offensively and defensively, and a great read there by the quarterback. Jarrett Janot pulls that ball. Everybody stayed with the tailback on that particular play, and Hanault has the option to pull. Well, he made the right call. He pulled, and now Goffstown has some breathing room. 1st and 10 on their own 25. They're on the move with 3:53 to play here in the 1st quarter. Trips now to the field. Split end to the top side. And he's going to take a shot. And it was a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. That was Colby Putnam, who did a stop route just about at the sticks. And Hanault threw it for the money. Austin Hisco was back in coverage for the Cardinals. You always have to be aware on that single receiver side. That's the money side. That's where you're going to take shots because you know the coverage is going to be rotated over to the numbers. You have to like your one-on-one matchups there. Hinault's going to pull that one, and he's going to get stacked up by a host of Cardinals. Looked like it was led there by number 75. Jacob Schofield in on the play. And again, looking for number 75 for Bishop Guertin. Number 44 in your program. Number 1 in your heart. That was Cam Hilliard who was in on that last play. Ethan Holt is wearing number 75 here tonight. So in your program, it'll say 44. And that was Ethan Holt, rather, excuse me. So Ethan Holt is wearing number 75 tonight for the Cardinals. Punt is off on the run, and it's nice to see somebody catch a punt here in the state of New Hampshire, and he is off to the races. A lost art here in high school football as Joey Lupo takes that punt on the run and makes something happen. Had a great conversation with one of the Goffstown coaches. They said Harvard actually did a study, believe it or not, and on average, whenever somebody does not field a punt, you're in for about a 17-yard loss on average. So right there, Lupo grabs that punt, and he is off to the races. So Guertin with outstanding field position here with 2:50 to play in the first quarter. Cardinals set up in a slot, trips look to the field. Single receiver is Hisco to the left. A swing pass there, sniffed out pretty well. Brendan Callahan on the receiving end of that pass, but that's going to go for a loss as the Grizzly defense was up to the challenge. Hayden Moses with the pass, but sniffed out by the Grizzly defense. So a loss of about 3 on the play. Guertin will set trips to the field here. Single receiver to the right. Bew to the quarterback's right. Moses barking out signals. A pump and go here. Looks like a smash route that is triple covered. So Goffstown not taking the bait on the pump and go as the number 3 receiver. That time, Joey Lupo runs the corner route. Goffstown not having anything to do with that, playing that route very well. May have been better to throw that pump route. 3rd down and 13 now for the Cardinals. And again, Moses looking to the sideline, barking signals now. Again, trips to the field, split end to the short side, Bew in the backfield. Moses, again, quickly trying to get it out to Hisco. And Goffstown had an over-under coverage on the play. It looked like that was number 81 coming underneath, Jared Heidenreich, a 6'3", 190-pound outside linebacker, or overhang player as we like to call him. And the corner was over the top. That was number 12, John Teixeira. So 4th down here. Clearly you go for it. Well, I stand corrected. They're going to go for a field goal. So this is going to be from about the 29-yard line, which is a 39-yard field goal attempt. Trying to get on the board here. And that ball is live. There's no whistle. And he's off to the races. It is a field goal, not an extra point. And clearly coaching is a huge factor here. When a field goal gets blocked, it is a live ball if it stays behind the line of scrimmage. That's a scoop and score situation. Whereas an extra point, if it's blocked, it's a dead ball. So number 4 for the Cardinals, the kicker there. That field goal was blocked, and everybody stood around and watched it. One of those little nuances of high school football where you need to know the rules of the game. Goffstown with pretty good field position here. Minimal gain on first down. Second down and about 7 for the Grizzlies. Jarrett Hinault barking signals. And they'll do a quick little screen to the outside, a now route we used to call it. And he is still down on the ground. He gets up, limping a little bit. Appears to be all right. Does Colby Putnam. A great block out there on the outside perimeter by the number 2 receiver. And that is a busted play. Nobody was set, but nobody was moving, so there'll be no penalty called. Another interesting turn of events here. Second down and 9, so Goffstown getting lucky on that last play. Hinault now barking signals, inside run play. That'll go for nothing as number 33, Jack Stinnett, is stacked up by a host of Cardinals, led by number 58. Looked like Aiden Swizik. Shevchek, not how it's spelt. All right, I digress. 3rd and 9. And just like that, the old tip drill works in Goffstown's favor. Everything coming up roses here for the Grizzlies on a pretty good coverage play by the Cardinals. They were in play. They had sprint out rules. All 3 levels of the routes were covered, and yet Goffstown still comes away with something positive. That was Stinnett again on the inside handoff on a first down carry. And a good first down carry at that. Second down and about 3 as the first quarter here at Mata Field at Stellos Stadium comes to a close. And your score, and we've seen a good one thus far, the visiting team, the Goffstown Grizzlies, with a 7-0 lead over the home team, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Jason Roby here on Nashua's ETV calling the action for you, along with Tom King, who's down field side taking pictures at this present time. I'm a late fill-in tonight for John Collins. So it's date night for Coach Roby as he brings his bride to the football game. And good times. So here we go. Second quarter action. Stellos Stadium, Mata Field, beautiful facility, beautiful night for football. Senior night for the Cardinals. The band, the cheerleaders, the senior football players all being recognized here before the game, their last game here. Playing a 4-3 Goffstown Grizzly team that's hoping to get into the playoffs. Right now we have a tight end trips look to the field. And Stinnett did not get the ball. I don't know why Hinault pulled that. Probably should have given it to Stinnett. He may have been standing in the back of the end zone, but he elected to keep it. Regardless, first down on the play from Hinault. So 1st and 10. They can get a first down, can the Grizzlies. Again, the tight end trips look. This time he hands it off to Stinnett, and he's going to be stacked up by a host of Cardinals. Looks like the charge there may have been led by number 56, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. Brian Kukulski. Soares also on the play, as was Schofield. So 2nd down and 8. A stretch play. This time the quarterback does keep it, and he's going to be standing alone at the right far pylon, in for the Goffstown score. So it started out as a stretch play look for the Grizzlies. You saw the young quarterback, Jarrett Hanault, pull that ball, and the area vacated by the edge defender. Hanault snuck right up in there, bounced to the outside. And the next contact he makes is with his teammates on a high five. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. The kick was by, again, senior kicker David Gibson. 14-0 now for the Grizzlies. So with 11:13 to go here in the first half, you're looking at a Goffstown lead of 14-0. What we can tell you is this is a very dangerous play for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals on the kick return, as it appears that Lupo and Brendan Callahan are deep for the Cardinals. So Gibson marches his steps back. New kickoff rule this year. Everybody inside of 5 yards on the kickoff. Focus on safety at every level, including the high school level. He gets his right foot into it, and that will be number 7 on the return. And he's got a seam, and he's got a chance. And right there, number 7, Brendan Callahan, knocked out of bounds by Brad Baxter, but not before he races out and gets into Goffstown Grizzly territory. So 11:06 to play here. Guertin has something going with an opportunity now to play from Goffstown's side of the field again. We'll see what Coach Trisciani dials up. And he comes out, it looks like, double slot set, wide twins to the right, and the coaches are going nuts. And a stretch play right there is going to go for it. Not very much of the loss. Matter of fact, as Callahan is quickly taken down by number 43 for Goffstown. That's Jeffrey Hager. Apparently, the coaching staff of the Grizzlies not too happy with the alignment of the front. Regardless, the result was something the Grizzlies can be happy with. I'm sure they'll talk about that at film session tomorrow. 2nd down and 12 now for the Cardinals. All right. We call an ace formation. The tight end is now split. And that is going for nothing, as number 22 there, Ryan Bew, is stacked up by the defensive front, led by number 78, Evan Cuddy. And Jared Devine. Talking to the Goffstown coaches, the front is one of the strengths of the Grizzlies here this year. They're very physical up front. So Guertin has their work cut out for them as they send slot trips to the field. Hisco is split to the right. Bew to the right of Woods. And he was not looking for that football, was Bew. Moses on a one-step drop, fired to the swing route. And that swing route into the boundary, he was not ready for it. I don't think that was a check down or a read. I think that was a design play to go to Bew all the way, and he was not ready for it. So the Cardinals will punt here on 4th down. An interesting formation for the Grizzlies. They come after it, but they do not get it. And that punt Returned by number 7, Ben Dodge. A lot of easty-westy running there, trying to get to the edge. And he can't do it. And Johnny on the spot again. Joey Lupo down to make the tackle, the special teams tackle. Third phase of the game, a very important phase. Special teams can win or lose your games. Goffstown now goes back to the tight end trips look, and they will hammer it up. Josh Janot on the carry for the Grizzlies. Big Ethan Holt on the tackle for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 9. You wonder if Goffstown, again, will take a shot here. We'll see. Tight end flanker into the boundary, wide slot to the field. And a 1st down carry for Juneau and the Grizzlies. One of the things I'm sure the Guertin Cardinals are well aware of is how the halfback lines up in front of the fullback. So you know the kinds of looks you're going to get versus when the tailback lines up behind the quarterback's shoulder. Right now, a different lineup at the tailback position and more of a straight ahead run rather than a cutback run. Minimal gain on 1st down, 2nd down and about 7 for the Grizzlies. Holt again on the tackle initially for the Cardinals. Communication an issue right now with the Grizzlies. I would not be surprised if we get a timeout. We'll watch the official in the back and see if he raises his hand. A double slot formation. 5 seconds on the play clock. They get it off just in time with maybe a second to spare. They were going for some type of either a throwback or a screen, and the Cardinals snuffed it out. That play was doomed from the get-go as Evan Soares makes acquaintances with Jarrett Hanault. Records a big sack for the Cardinals. 3rd down and long now for the Grizzlies. Slot trips to the field, split end to the boundary as Hanault rolls out, throws on the roll, and that ball nearly intercepted by number 7, Brendan Callahan. Again, rollout rules for the Cardinals. Get your butt to the boundary, work back to the field, and see the routes coming at you. So that's going to set up a 4th down for the Grizzlies, and they bring the punt team on. The ever-dangerous Joey Lupo, who caught that last punt on the fly, the lost art of fielding a punted football, is a danger. We'll see if Guertin comes after, if they set up some kind of a return. High snap, good adjustment. That could be a fair catch, and it is for Lupo. And well done by number 32. As number 12, John Teixeira, was first on the scene. Johnny on the spot, forcing Lupo to fair catch that. I'm anxious to see if Lupo is the long snapper there, or rather is Teixeira the long snapper. And he is, and that's why he was the first one down. Guertin did not account for the long snapper. You block that guy, you're off to the races. 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals. Tight end flanker into the boundary, slot to the field. And they run a stretch play into the boundary, and a great bounce right there by Ryan Bew. Almost a bubble philosophy where you bubble back and things open up, and it did for Bew on that 1st down carry. He picked up about 7. So 2nd down and 3 now for the Cardinals. Goffstown in their 3-3 stack alignment. The cover 2 shell And Bew bounces it back against the grain. And the one thing you teach high school kids is every play is designed to cut back against the grain, and Bew displays it there. Part of that is because of the downfield blocking away from the action. A good job by the front five of Bishop Guertin, sustaining their blocks and allowing that lane to develop for Bew on that cutback run. First down and 10 as a result of that play from the Cardinals. So we'll see if that great defensive effort by Guertin can result in some points, as Guertin now on the attack in Goffstown territory.
Well, Jason, they've had a few tough breaks, a couple of passes deflected.
No doubt.
A couple of, and missed tackles here and there, but they've got to cash in down low. They've been down there twice now and come away empty.
Right.
They've got to pick up some points.
As Callahan ran that last play into the boundary on a stretch play, Tom, and that's kind of the way things go, right? Murphy's Law.
Yep,
what can go wrong will go wrong.
It's exactly the way it's been.
And so if you're Bishop Guertin, you have to ask yourself, at some point, can we please cash in on this? They're in Goffstown territory once again for at least the third time tonight, maybe the fourth time. They need to come away with some points here, cut this lead in half. Goffstown bringing pressure, and a great read by their quarterback there as he hits Hisco. And I'll tell you what right now, Tom, one of the things you teach your kids, when they bring pressure, your receivers have to cut their route short and come back to the football, and that's exactly what Hisco did there.
Hisco's a smart player. He's a smart kid.
Hayden
Very
Moses
determined
right away.
athlete. He and Moses have some. It took them a while to get a little bit in sync together during the season, but I think they're working on that right now, especially since Moses was out and playing defense only and now back in at quarterback.
Yeah, there's a chemistry that you develop in practice and in games and game time speed and all of those things that you really have to consider as they measure to see if Guertin picked up the first down. From here, it appears that they did, but it looks like it's going to be a chain link short. Nope, they're going to give it to him. Very good. So Guertin gets the first down, and they are on the move. And I'll tell you, Tom, a great read once again. Surprised there with Goffstown bringing the pressure. They're not really in a press man coverage. If you're going to bring pressure like that, you better be up on those receivers. Otherwise, you're just giving them a free first down.
Exactly.
So first and 10 now for Guertin. Good high school football game here at Stellos Stadium on a Saturday night. And that, again, another mistake as Guertin is on the march. And I'll tell you what happened there, Tom, is Guertin running a stretch play, and it's a read for the quarterback, and the quarterback has the option to pull that ball, and Moses wanted to pull it, and Callahan had other thoughts, and they both held on to it, and that ball gets fumbled forward like the old holy roller back in the day with the Oakland Raiders and rolls forward for about 10 yards.
Can't do turnovers.
High school football, turnovers will kill you. First and 10 now for Goffstown as they, and another ball on the carpet. And I'm going to tell you right there, that was number 52, Jacob Schofield, that nearly took the handoff. And as a result, I believe he may have even recovered the fumble. So a great effort there by Schofield. He busts through the offensive line, almost takes the handoff, knocks the ball carrier to the ground, creating the fumble, and recovers it.
Nothing like getting in the other team's backfield. That's the goal all the time. Guertin's got that penetration. Remember the old Tony Johnson teams, the speed that they would show, Jason, to get into that backfield. This team has got some of that speed with it.
I'm going to tell you, Tom, they're, and we talked about this in the pregame. They're close.
Yeah, they are.
They are close.
Yep.
As they set up tight end flanker into the boundary, and that's going to be Lupo at the flanker down here near side. Slot to the top of the field. And that looks like it's going to be, once again, Ryan Bew on the handoff. And he will go for not much. They line back up, ready to run their second play of this series. Second down and 10 now for the Cardinals. So an exchange of fumbles Both teams playing the I don't want it, you take it game. They're going to now set up a tight end trips into the boundary. And as we talked about earlier, that gives one-on-one coverage with Austin Hisco to the field. As you see the Goffstown secondary rotating, we got a timeout here, I believe. Yeah, Guertin's going to call timeout. You saw the overhang player to the field, that outside linebacker. We call him a dog sometimes. He walked out underneath, kind of in the apex of the offensive tackle and the number one receiver. He was going to look to get underneath Hisco with some help over the top from the corner. But the two deep safety rotated over the top. So you wonder if they were going to take a shot with Hisco into the end zone, or maybe even on a post pattern. A lot of field to the top of the screen as you see Coach Trisciani and his troops talking it over on the Bishop Guertin sideline. BG here with another opportunity. They need to come away with some points here, do the Cardinals. 2nd down and 10. And we'll see if Goffstown adjusts. All right, they flip it to the other side. Trips is to the field with Hisco to the boundary. And that will probably lessen that overhang players. He'll reduce down into the box potentially a little more as it almost turns into a quad look now to the field, depending on where Bew goes. He stays max pro, and like we talked about, he's taking a shot for Hisco. And a great play there in the secondary as that ball hung up just enough for John Teixeira to break it up.
Colby Putnam made a similar play on Lupo down at the other end.
Right.
They're very good defensively in the backfield.
So Goffstown recognizing they want to go to the single receiver side and take the shot at the one-on-one coverage. Teixeira up for the challenge. And Hisco was oh so close to reeling that one in, to getting this to a 7-point game. Moses barking signals again. The quads look, and they run a funnel screen, Tom, back to the field, and it looked like it was there. You talked about the penetration that Goffstown was getting up front, and as a result, what you want to do when the team's getting great penetration up front, you throw the funnel screen, you let the defensive line through, and it's clear sailing. Unfortunately, that ball is dropped. That play right there, we're going to look back on that one.
Might have been a touchdown, a similar play last night, produced by Ben Eichmann. He caught the ball in space for Merrimack and scored a huge touchdown in that game. The screen always works.
Got to hold on to the football.
Yep.
Back to the Twins formation here. And that is a coverage sack, Tom King. That is a coverage sack right there as Moses rolls to his right, pumps it once, nobody to throw to, and a great job of pursuit by the Grizzly defense. And as a result, Guertin's going to turn it over on downs, and there's that word turnover again.
Jason, my whole life's a coverage sack. So and that's just the way Guertin cannot punch it in. They've had 3 opportunities in Goffstown territory, haven't been able to do it.
Tight end trips to the field now, and the quarterback is going to keep it. So Jarrett Hanault stacked up by Holt and Schofield. Again, we're saying their names an awful lot, Tom King. They are in the backfield, and they are disrupting that inside run game here for the Grizzlies. That's the cutback play. As you can tell by the alignment of the tailback, he lines up in front of the quarterback. You know he's cutting back to the side he started on. Guertin knew it was coming as well. Minimal gain there, 3rd down and about 8. And again, Holt in on the play, as well as Ethan Soares for the Cardinals.
Again, defense, 3rd down. This is where Guertin's got to come through.
That's where you make your hay.
This is it, and they've had trouble doing it tonight.
We'll see if the Grizzlies dial up some type of a screen action. Is Guertin coming? They are. He's rolling right.
And
once
low
again,
throw.
a low throw. And I'll tell you this, Tom, if you're going to bring pressure, if you're the secondary coach for either team, you've got to tell your kids, look, we're bringing pressure.
Right.
Their receivers are going to run to the sticks and stop. You've got to know where your positioning should be. You've got to know where the first down markers are. Guertin lucky there that the throw was underthrown. But a good team will burn you on that. Speaking of burning you, here's Lupo again to return this punt.
And, you know, the mistake they've made is they kicked it to him. Can't do it.
So with 2:15 to play here in the first half, Guertin hanging around, their own worst enemy at this point. We'll see what they have dialed up here for a return. We'll see if they block the center this time. They do. They get a hand on him, but it is a rainmaker.
He's got to call fair catch.
Yep.
In traffic.
And a great play and a penalty on the play, and it looks like they are going to get a block in the back. The Goffstown coaches were calling for it. I want to go back, though, to something Lupo just did. What a smart young man. They blocked the center, which is, you know, not right away because that would be a penalty, but they blocked the center. But the punt is not a deep one, and we call him a rainmaker. That thing's touching the clouds. Lupo does the smart thing and calls for the fair catch. We always tell kids if it's a low-line drive, you want to return that because you're going to have all kinds of time before the coverage gets down the field. But on a high, short kick, the fair catch is the way to go, and that's exactly what Lupo did. As the officials talk about it here at midfield.
If he had let that bounce, chances are it could have gone 20 yards backwards. Chances are. He's got to make that catch.
If I'm not mistaken, Tom King, is that B.J. Neverett down there
Yes,
officiating
it
this
is.
game? I thought I recognized the mustache.
I said at the beginning of the game, I said to the side judge, don't get in my way.
B.J. Neverett, the manager of the Nashua Silver Knights, also a football official here in the state, marching that ball back on the block in the backs. Oh, Guertin will take over 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line. Hayden Moses looking to the sideline. Bew also looking to see what the play is. Bew is to Moses' left. Double slot set, or double twins here for the Cardinals. And a quick slant route. That was complete to number 87, Kyle Baker. And he was quickly stacked up by the secondary of the Grizzlies. But you love those plays, Tom. You get 4 or 5 yards on first down, come back, 4 or 5 yards on second down. You have 3rd and manageable. Trips to the field. Hisco down here to the boundary. Bew to the boundary. Oh, and that
slipped
ball
out of his
slipped out
hands.
of his hand. He wanted to pull that one back, and he couldn't.
Definitely.
And it was nearly intercepted. Moses couldn't quite hold on to it. And almost another interception for a Goffstown linebacker tonight.
That would have been brutal.
3rd down and long now for the Cardinals. And they'll send Hisco to the field and bring trips into the boundary. Or rather, twins now. But they send Hisco to the field, so you have to wonder, they're going to try and take a shot here to Hisco deep. We'll see what Coach Trisciani and the Cardinals have dialed up. Nope, pop pass right down the middle to Lupo, and he is off to the races.
Well, that's just it. Get the ball in the hands of Lupo. You really have to do that.
And Hayden Moses was not going anywhere else except to Lupo on that pass.
No.
He didn't look at anybody else. He looked right away to Lupo. He found number 32, hit him in the numbers.
26-yard gain and 1st and 10. And here they are again, Jason, knocking on the door in Goffstown territory.
Yeah, and they have 1 timeout left here in the first half, Tom. The clock is ticking. We're at 1:15 and counting with 1 timeout. He's going to roll to the field to his left. And I'll tell you right there, that is a great throw and catch and a great tackle. In addition to keep the clock running, does Stinnett. That ball was completed to Callahan, and Stinnett was right there to keep him inbounds and keep that clock running with 56 seconds to go. And they're going to take their last timeout. So clock management here. And for a young football team, you know, you look back at the timeouts you may have had to take earlier in the game and the reasons why you take them. A seasoned team, you won't have to do that as much.
Young teams, you're going to have to.
You have to make sure you don't make mistakes in the special teams. You have to make sure you hold on to the football.
So what's happened to that Bill Hardy staff? Let's see. The head guy's enjoying retirement, but still can't stay away from the stadium. One of his top defensive assistants is broadcasting.
Yeah.
The other one's reffing.
Yeah, isn't that something?
I don't see a lot of success here.
And Bill Hardy's on a roof somewhere banging nails.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of success here. You guys are too young to retire.
Are you saying that sitting next to you up here in the booth, along with Pete Johnson and NashuaETV staff, is not a success?
Next to Pete,
this is success.
Next to Pete, it's success. Next to me, forget it.
Tom King, I'm going to say the same line I say every week. Sitting where I am right now, I am undefeated.
You are.
I have not lost a game from this seat.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm enjoying a coffee.
Isn't that
in the company of wonderful people
Isn't
who
that
aren't writing
amazing?
bad things about me. You know, come on, Tom King. I'm enjoying
Yet
myself.
you still had time on the sidelines when I started taking photos about 5 years ago to say, make sure you get my good side.
Is that why you came? You looked at and said, "Look down at the ground."
Exactly. I said, get your good side. I'm looking to get any side because I was just starting out doing it.
52 seconds to play here in the first half. Bishop Guertin with an opportunity to get the end zone. They double cover Hisco. He still runs by.
Underthrown.
And underthrown and a second late. And I'll tell you what saved them right there was Jarrett Hanault coming over late from the backside, almost picks that ball off because Hisco had the inside positioning.
Exactly. He did have the inside positioning, but the ball needed to be a little bit more elevated so Hisco could go up and get it.
Young defensive backs, listen carefully when I tell you this. I don't know much, but I know this. Use the sideline as your defender and don't backpedal straight. Backpedal inside. Keep inside alignment.
Got it. No!
Oh!
Almost.
Callahan reaches up there and almost pulls it down and can't. Not sure if he would have come down inbounds. Probably would have been a first down and stopped the clock. So maybe not a bad thing that he didn't catch the ball, Tom King. 4th down and 6 now for the Cardinals. If you have some kind of a trick play, if you have something in your arsenal that you have not shown the Grizzlies, now might be the time to use that. We'll see what Coach Trisciani and his offensive staff have dialed up. And once again, not real heavy on the hurry up to get this play in. 5 seconds to go before a penalty. Guertin's going to get penalized here, and it's going to be 4th down and 11.
Yep, you're right.
Thank you very much.
Saw the hand go up from the official, signaling the 5 seconds left, and you knew it wasn't going to get off in time.
It's just one of those things, again, where you need to know what play you're going to run, have it dialed in, get it ready to go, and go for it. And there was no urgency, no sense of urgency there. But regardless, it doesn't matter. No time runs off the clock, so it's 4th and 11. 4th down is 4th down. That was like the Merrimack North game. It didn't matter if there was 1 second left or 4 seconds left last night, and someone blows an air horn here. All right. Rolls out to his right, can't take the sack. And that ball is going to fall incomplete. Moses hurried on the play by number 78, Evan Cuddy. The 5'11", 236-pound senior made acquaintances with Moses, and Moses had to throw it off his back foot, falling to the ground. And the boundary was covered. Not sure it would have been enough for a first down anyway. So with 34 seconds left here in the half, it appears that Goffstown is going to escape again without giving up any points to this Guertin offense. What do you think, Tom? They take a knee here, or are they going to try and run some plays?
I think they're going to try to run a play.
I think you're right. And you know that because they're calling timeout. That's right.
You've got it to use it in the first half. You might as well. But again, Guertin just not able to get that one pass that they need.
I'm going to tell you right now, too, Tom. Number one, you got to somehow get the ball into Lupo's hands more.
Yeah, no,
I agree. He's not
agree.
touching the football a whole lot right
now.
Maybe
what?
They're saving it.
De Silva does that. he and Lupo have a chemistry. They get it into him a little bit more. Not much more, but a little bit more. Moses seems to gravitate more towards Hisco.
Yeah.
Because they're in the same class.
Right. At this point, I think, and I don't know if it's a matter of bringing Lupo into the backfield and handing him the ball. I'll be honest with you.
But you know what? He's so valuable on both sides of the ball, you got to save him.
But what do you have to lose? Save him for what?
Yeah, that's
Save
true.
him for what? You have Keene
You've got
next
one
week.
game next week.
You have an opportunity here. It's 14-0. You're in a nail biter, and you have an opportunity to put some points on the board. I think you got to find a way to get that kid the ball. And again, that's why I'm sitting up here with a headphone on talking to the fine folks watching NashuaETV as opposed to down there calling plays. So,
and they're going to let it run out, and that'll do it. That is the end of the first half, everybody, here at Stellos Stadium. The score is Goffstown 14 and Bishop Guertin nothing. We'll be back with the second half, and Jason and I will be back to start the third quarter.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's do those pearly whites, man.
Yeah. The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chairs, go compare us.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2018 Bishop Guertin High School Marching Band in their field show, Playing with Fire, featuring Disco Inferno, Great Balls of Fire, and Fireball. The band is under the direction of Mr. Brian Stark and is assisted by Mrs. Amanda Stark, with percussion instruction by Chief Master Sergeant Dave Long, USAF, and drill design by Dr. Ron Fussell. The ensemble is conducted by drum majors Andrew Peliquin and Isabella Wang. Please welcome the Marching Cardinals.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Hello, everybody. We are back here at Stellos Stadium, where the home team, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, are hosting the Goffstown Grizzlies in what is a pretty good football game up to this point, Tom King. A Grizzly 14-0 lead, but the Cardinals seem to be shooting themselves in the foot. Every time they get into Grizzly territory, they just can't get that ball over the threshold.
They've been down there 4 times, Jason Roby, and they are 0 for 4. They've taken the collar in the first half.
You look at some penalties, you look at some turnovers, the things that are really the Cardinals' sin, no pun intended, for a high school football team. You can't do those things and expect to be successful. A lot of times the earmark of a young football team, as Coach Trisciani and his staff have here down at Bishop Guertin. But I like what I've seen thus far. I think that there's a lot of promise here defensively for this Cardinal team, and it's what's really keeping them in this ball game thus far. Is although they are facing a sophomore quarterback in Jarrett Hanault from Goffstown, they are playing pretty inspired defensively, and as a result are hanging around. And
if you're Guertin, that's what you want to do. You know, hang around, keep it close, keep it close. You want something positive to come out of this game, even if you can't get the W. You know, and the thing is they converted just 50% of what they wanted to do. We'd be tied right now, or at least, you know, it'd be a close game depending on the extra points.
And Tom, we talked going into halftime, and I want to get back to this point. Interestingly enough, Joey Lupo not really touching the ball a lot for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, and you have to wonder, you know, not sure if there's a reason why, but you have 2 games left. You have a game and a half, really, and you play Keene next week. There's no postseason for Guertin.
Well, they don't have Keene. They've got
or not Keene, rather.
They've got Memorial.
Memorial, thank
yes,
you.
Right.
And a very winnable game for Guertin. So you have an opportunity here to really knock a team out of a playoff hunt as you're hanging around with Goffstown and go on a nice 2-game winning streak here potentially. You think you'd pull out, you know, the stops, and we'll see if Coach Trisciani and his staff does that moving forward. It'll be interesting to see because, as you've mentioned, they've been down there multiple times, multiple occasions they've come up short, whether it be a turnover or a penalty at an inopportune time. Guertin's got to break through here, and they're going to get an opportunity as they're going to receive the second half kickoff. And once again, they know where Lupo is, so chances are they're going to kick the ball to the opposite hash where Brendan Callahan is standing, and he's got an opportunity to do something here. So we'll see how they play it. And this one's going to find its way to Lupo, and the coaching staff not too happy for Goffstown. But I'll tell you, great coverage there by the Grizzlies. As Lupo is brought down, looked like Teixeira maybe, and also Andrew Bird-Diaz potentially on the stop. So great special teams there displayed by the Grizzlies to start this second half. Guertin will start over 1st and 10 on their own 25.
See how much they get Lupo the ball this time. They've got him wide at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen.
So Guertin with the jaw, and look, they're going to a direct snap, a wildcat look with Hisco at the quarterback. And he's going to keep it. So Guertin clearly trying to keep the ball in Hisco's hands. Goffstown knows what they're doing. You're not putting Hisco back there except to give him an opportunity to run the football.
Exactly.
You know, Buse standing, and now they go back to their regular 3-by-1 set with Hisco to the single receiver side. So 2nd down and 11 now. And they'll flop sides of twins to both sides.
Exactly, and Lupo will be the near side receiver to the right of the quarterback, top of the screen, but he's on the inside now where he was all the way out wide on the previous formation.
And they bring him in motion. This is what now into the backfield.
And they're going to look for him.
And see, I'd rather give him the ball earlier rather than later.
But Moses saw the defender creeping up. I think that was Stinnett creeping up on Lupo. Moses saw that Lupo really didn't have a chance.
And not a lot of
And
room
so-
to operate there,
No,
Tom.
and
You know,
so Moses made the right call, I think, on that play, Jason, and ran it for
no doubt.
almost 6 yards.
yeah, a good pull there by Moses. So Guertin now faced with a 3rd and a long 5, call it 6. Trips again. He's looking single receiver side on a pump and
Air
go.
it out.
And he's got a shot, and it fell right through his hands, Tom. Went right through Hisco's hands. He had a step on the defender there.
He had to lean a little bit, Jason, but the ball right off his fingertips. It was catchable. He would have had it in bounds. I think all you need is 1 foot, right?
1 foot, that's correct.
He would have had it.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been able to stay in bounds once he caught it, but still another opportunity missed for the Cardinals.
And it's
they're
field
gonna have-
position too, Tom. It's
and-
field position
right,
too.
And they're gonna have to punt.
So now Goffstown, 3 men deep. You don't see this alignment a lot in high school football. And they block the punt. This could be a scoop and score here. This could be a scoop and score.
Doesn't look
It won't be, but it will be 1st down and 10 from the 11. You know, here too, Tom, is the thing. You send 3 guys deep to return the punt.
Right.
That means you're only bringing 8,
that-
and there might be
the
one guy
math
at the
doesn't
second
work.
level.
The math doesn't work for you.
That punt should not be blocked.
Nope.
Goffstown can get a 1st down here, which is important in terms of the play call for the Grizzlies. 10:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. Goffstown with an opportunity to go up by 3 scores. And Stinnett now pounds it forward. And they're playing with a little chip on their shoulder as the front of Goffstown. We're going to have an injury timeout here as there's a Bishop Guertin Cardinal on the field as the trainer heads out.
It's like a single number.
And we'll hope he's okay. We don't have any information on who that young man might be as yet, but they'll send both teams to the sidelines. He is moving, so that's a good sign. Looks like the trainer's looking at his knee potentially. Great blocking up front by the Goffstown Grizzly offensive line, particularly the left side of that line, to create a new line of scrimmage, as we like to call it.
Well, they should control the line of scrimmage, although they're not as big as they've been in the past, but they're about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
Guertin. You know, and Guertin, again, depending on what they do in the offseason in that weight room, they could come back with a pretty big line next year with what they've got right now.
That looks like potentially could be Jacob Schofield down there, Tom. And he's communicating with the trainer. Hope he's doing okay. He's about to sit up now, so that's a good sign. Goffstown needs about 3 yards to go here, as you can see the sticks to the side. Schofield not really able to put any weight on that left leg as he's hobbling off, and that is a loss, a big loss for the Cardinals. We hope he's okay. The 5'10", 255-pound junior gets some help now from his teammates as he hops on 1 foot off of the field. So we'll see if Goffstown goes to the area that Schofield just vacated. Once again, Goffstown can pick up a 1st down here. 2nd down and about 3 for the Grizzlies as they're threatening to go up by 3 scores here in the 3rd quarter. And if the snap is bobbled, and I have no idea how that worked out, but it worked out.
Well,
Jared
the bobble,
Hanal.
what the bobble's going to do is cause all the defense to hesitate, Jason.
Yeah, there's some
You've
time.
seen that
Yep.
before.
Yep.
The defense hesitates when they see the loose ball. Okay, where is it? We got to go for it.
Yep. And you
And
don't
then-
do your job.
Right, and you stop and you leave your lane,
Yeah.
and the quarterback, Hanal, is able to get in.
And again, another, an opportunistic bounce for the Grizzlies.
Yep.
It goes their way.
So that is a 7-yard touchdown run?
Yeah, I'd call it 7. Kick is up, and it is good. So now Gibson kicks that one through. The 6'3", 170-pound senior puts it through the upright. So with 9:54 to go here in the third quarter, your score: Goffstown 21, Bishop Guertin 0. I would say this is the most important possession, Tom King, for the Cardinals in this football game right here. And we'll see how they answer.
82 Mega Millions tickets with it. The winning number
See on the sideline now the
413.
Guertin special teams coach meeting with his players, sends them onto the field. Goffstown ready to kick the ball off. All of the kickoff team within 5 yards as the new rule instituted for kickoff safety. Gibson to put his right foot into the football, and it's a squib kick, and it's caught on the fly by number 15, Dylan Santasuoso. Hope I said that right.
Say it 10 times.
Santasuoso, I think. Guertin will take over 1st and 10 with good field position here. So there's no way they were going to let the deep men for Guertin get their hands on the football that time. Although they did have pretty good coverage on the kick to start the second half. You don't know how many times you're playing with fire if you kick that ball deep and it falls into the hands of one Joey Lupo. So Hayden Moses now back at the helm calling signals. And that is a design play as the backside guard pulled, and he tried to lead Ryan Bew to the left side into the boundary, which is an interesting call. Anytime you get the football and you run it into the boundary like that, you want to follow your pulling guard, and not sure Bew did that. He looked to bounce it, and that might be because the front of the Grizzlies just spilled it. They got penetration, blew up that pole, and they spilled that thing to the outside into the boundary, which is exactly the way they're probably taught to do that. And their 3-3 stack now are the Grizzlies as the Cardinals line up 3 by 1. And it looked like that defense almost went to a 3-4 look. Ooh. And that, I'll tell you right there, is not a good sign. You had Brandon Callahan wrestled down to the ground, and he's grabbing for his knee as the Goffstown trainer looks for him. Ouch. He got kind of bent over, and anytime you see something like that, you worry about the player's knee. Guertin trainer coming over. Hopefully it's just a hamstring, hopefully. Got bent the wrong way, did Callahan.
Early in the game, Guertin was using Hayden Moses on the deceptive quarterback runs. They've gotten away from that now. Once you fall behind, they abandon a lot of their offense, and that's Cunningham that's down, huh?
That is Callahan.
Callahan,
Brendan
I'm sorry.
Callahan.
Brendan Callahan, yep.
He's been a good player for these
Yes,
Cardinals
he
here
really
tonight.
has.
A very active player
On both sides of the ball,
no
right.
doubt, no doubt. And so hopefully we'll see him get up and run off. It looked like it could have been a hamstring issue, or he's bending that left leg right now. So hopefully Brendan's okay. And he'll get up and he'll walk off on his own power, gingerly, but on his own power. So that's a good sign for the Cardinals.
Players are going down.
This time in the season, and we've always talked about this deep into the season, you have to make sure your 2s and your 3s are getting the reps that they need when they have to go in. Football's a game where you have to have capable backups. And the depth of a team oftentimes can determine your success in the postseason. So now we'll see what Guertin does. It's a 3rd down and 7 for the Cardinals. And they're going to line up again. They're going to flop their receivers, and they're going to go a 3 by 1. Once again with Lupo as the number 2 receiver to the field. And Hisco singled up into the boundary. They're going to bring pressure from the outside here, and they don't. They bluff. A good pickup, and again,
no synchronicity. Nothing, they weren't in sync with each other.
Yeah, that ball was intended for Devin Amaral, and he had 3 Goffstown Grizzlies chasing him.
But he had space. He catches
there
that ball.
He definitely has a first
gotta
down by
play.
at least 5 yards.
Yep.
And one of the things you hate to see when you have rollout is your defenders are chasing routes as opposed to waiting for them to come. And Goffstown was definitely chasing routes there. They got lucky. So they'll punt again, will the Cardinals.
I've been chasing routes my whole life, too, Jason.
And it appears that a shortage of personnel on the field as Hisco runs on late to play that right end position.
And it's no coincidence that Hayden Moses.
That ball was muffed right there by number 7, Benjamin Dodge.
No coincidence
Dodges a bullet.
that Moses' biggest completion in the game has been to Joey Lupo, 26 yards.
And again, we're not, I think you got to get him the ball sooner rather than later, Tom. This game is 21-0. You have to get a stop here defensively.
Moses right now 4 of 14 for 40 yards.
Tight end trips now to the field for Goffstown. And that appeared to be Josh Juno, I believe, on the carry. And once again on the tackle is Ethan Holt. He's listed as number 44 in the program.
He's 75.
But he's wearing 75
and
tonight.
and well, he's been 75 since midway through the year, and it's no coincidence that once they changed that number, they took him off offense. He stopped carrying the football.
Right. And he's been
a linebacker, a lineman or linebacker only.
Physical
only on
presence
defense.
in there for Guertin, no doubt about it, as they bring motion to the field here. And that is number 4, Sean Leahy on the carry.
And who was in there on the pursuit? Number 32, Joey Lupo.
Joey Lupo coming from the opposite side of the field to make that play. And also number 31, Matt Frechette. Third down and 1 for the Grizzlies. We'll see what they have dialed up here. Coach Huff's quarterback calling the signals now. It's going to be that cutback play, and there it is. Little trap.
Yep, the cutback. And it works.
And you can tell, just based on running back's alignment, easy for us to see up here in the booth, Tom King, is the running back is actually in front of the quarterback with the snap of the ball. That dictates where he's going in this offense. A little more difficult to see, and also you got to deal with the beef up front that's blocking you as well. And to the left side of that Grizzly offensive line really having their way right now with the defensive front on the right side of the Cardinals.
Gain of 14 on the play.
He's going to keep it on this one. And a good pull there by the quarterback.
Close to a first down.
You're averaging 8 or 9 yards on first down. That is not a good sign. Looked like number 58.
You've got a tired Guertin team out there.
Aiden Swaycheck and Soares on the tackle.
A lot of those guys go both ways, Jason.
Yeah, the days of 2 platooning are really over.
They got to be tired.
The screen pass again and a good block out there on the corner. And he fumbled it. That ball's on the carpet.
Flag is also
beanbag
down.
flies. Goffstown says they got it. And I'll tell you right there, that's well executed by the number 2 receiver, the slot receiver for Goffstown. He runs out there and blocks the corner who's backpedaling.
I think he recovered his own fumble. It would have been Colby Putnam.
So once again, Goffstown, the benefit of a lucky bounce, a lucky roll.
Boy, they've gotten him, haven't they? They really have.
Tight end trips now for Goffstown to the field. Quarterback will keep it again, and they have the edge. And I'll tell you right there, a nice job was done there by number 31, the edge defender for BG. That's Matt Frechette. Frechette did a great job of establishing the edge and squeezing that thing back to the inside so the pursuit could get to the quarterback, Jarrett Hanault. 5:37 to play here.
Hanault's got some size, and he's got some poise as a sophomore.
No doubt.
Juno, straight
Run
ahead.
that trap play again, and that's stacked up by the front of Guertin. Looked like, again, it was led by number 58. Aiden Swezik.
Gorillas and Swords also in there on the tackle. Nothing much up the middle there.
3rd down and 6 now for the Grizzlies. Probably in 4-down territory. Not sure they'll kick the field goal. We'll have to wait and see if they don't get the 1st down, and they just run that little jump play again, that little jump cut. And a little bit of jawing going on right now between a BG player and a Goffstown player.
3rd, 4th, and a yard.
A long yard.
We're about the 7.
Let's see where the tailback lines up. Let's see where number 26 is, Josh Juneau. Is he in front of the quarterback?
He's right to his
There's
left.
There's a jump cut. Whoop, there he is, 1st down.
Hesitation, jumps, and in. Down
you know,
to
it's
2.
easy for us to see up here, Tom, but it's another thing to be on the field and have to adjust.
The way you make that play defensively, Jason, I think is you've got to have somebody on the edge come in
Now,
that backfield.
okay, I'm going to tell you right now what happened.
There?
Somebody just I could have sworn I heard a whistle.
So did I.
There was a whistle that blew, and then it didn't blow again. They're going to give Goffstown a touchdown.
Giuliani's on the field. He wants to know what's going on.
I apologize. I looked down at my roster for a split second because I thought I heard a whistle. I look up and people are yelling "run!" and
I heard the same thing. I heard a whistle too.
They're gonna do it over again. I think they're gonna say they blew it dead because they're sending the extra point off the field. I don't know if there are any do-over rules, any playground do-over rules as established by the NHIAA here in high school football.
Well, what will they call it? Inadvertent whistle?
Maybe so. So they'll go back to the original line of scrimmage. They'll keep the down and distance the same, and they'll run the play over again. And they'll wind the clock. They didn't put any time back on the clock, which is interesting. If you're going to call a do-over, you probably got to start from the get-go.
4:01 left in the quarter.
And
Juneau, did he get in?
Yeah, he broke the plane.
Yep.
He stacked up at the end zone, but he broke the plane. The ball broke the plane, so Juneau goes in. So an interesting turn of events there. It ends up the same regardless. Goffstown goes in for the score.
10 yards. 10 plays. 66 yards.
See if Gibson can put the extra point in. Snaps a little high, but it's put down, and Gibson's kick is good. A good hold by Benjamin Dodge. The senior wide receiver and defensive back also has pretty good hands, and he's able to get that ball down on the ground. Not sure if he was using a kicking block or not. High school kickers have the option of using a block or putting it straight down on the ground. So with 3:55 to play here in the third quarter, Goffstown's put 2 more scores up on the board. 28-0. Here we go. Ready to put his right foot into the ball is David Gibson. We'll see if he kicks it deep or
pooched.
Pooch kick. And that's a returnable ball, but I'll tell you, if you're not going to call fair catch, that thing's going to get you in an awful hurry, and the result's going to be what you saw.
Defender's going to get you in an awful hurry.
You got that right. Toby Therian on the catch, and there to greet him were a couple of Grizzlies. So good hands by Therian as he holds on, and Guertin has good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line with 3:52 to play here in the third quarter. And you got to believe now that they're probably going to go a little more to the friendly skies, and that really hasn't worked out well for them, Tom King. Now here you go. They're putting Lupo to the boundary with a tight end. And they hand the ball off again on a trap, and that's a good run there by Bew. That opened up nicely for him. So good job by the Cardinals. I'm sure Goffstown thinking the same thing I was. We're going to soften the defense up a little bit because they have to go to the air. And Guertin says, no, we're going to run our offense. We're going to run trap right at you to the tune of about
14.
15, 14 yards. So 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals as they set up shop inside of Grizzly territory on about their 47-yard line. And a great fill there off the edge. And that looked like number 34 flying in there, Brad Baxter. So you go negative on 1st down, never a way you want to start.
No.
2nd and long.
So when you get that, you script plays. Probably, say at the start of the game, right?
Yeah, you might script your first series.
Right. And then what if you do if you lose yardage on one of those early plays, Jason? Do you throw that script out the window?
It depends. It always depends on, everything is open. There's nothing set in stone. So if something works, a lot of times you script so you can see what the defense is going to run against you.
Exactly.
So even though the play might not be successful, you might be able to come back to that later on.
What
this is what we got in this situation. So while it's great to score, that's not always what the scripting is for. The scripting is to see what are you getting on certain situations from the defense.
3rd and 6 now from the 43. Isco with a 5-yard
And remember
catch.
that this is the result of a 2nd and 11.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go negative on 1st down, and now
quick out.
There's a quick out, but he's right at the sticks. So that negative play on 1st down comes back to haunt you. Now you have a 4th down and one when it could be a 1st down and 10. And they're going to give him the 1st down. So good job of getting to the sticks.
Close.
Pretty generous.
Surprised that Goffstown didn't say, wait a minute, let's take a look at that, measure it. 1st and 10 at the 37. Guertin now in Goffstown territory.
Once again.
For the 5th time this year, this game.
Moses barking signals. He's got trips to the field. Single receiver down to the boundary. They're going to take a shot at the boundary.
He's got him,
Hisco.
no. Hisco hesitated.
You know what?
Stopped.
He bent. Yeah, he bent inside, almost like he wanted to start on a skinny post and then bent back to the pylon.
Yeah,
and that hesitation cost him, I think.
Definitely cost him. He hesitated just inside the 15. If he had kept running, he probably had a good chance of catching that ball.
And we'll see that replay coming up here. We'll get to it. 2nd down and 10 now for the Cardinals. But that could have been a home run for BG.
They've got some guys out again. Hayden Moses starting tonight. De Silva not even down there. I didn't even see him.
And managing the game, not terribly. Managing the
I
game
think,
okay.
I think
Butte takes the ball for
they
a
haven't
nice
been
game.
They haven't been shut down.
No.
They've been able to gain yardage.
Yeah, and again, there's some playmakers on the field that you'd love to see, and we're taking a look on this instant replay. And yeah, you can see there, he kind of hesitates, kind of bends it back in, does Hisco, and as a result, that pass falls just beyond his reach.
Step to the inside and stopped, and then bent
Usually
it back
that step
out.
to the inside, if you're by the defender, you don't need to do it. You've already beat him on the route. As the defense shifts and they come with a stunt, and this is thrown up, and it is a catch and a touchdown. Right there. Wow. And I'm going to tell you something right now,
And
Tom
that
King.
time, Lupo
Guess
didn't
who?
stop.
Lupo didn't stop, and it was thrown into double coverage.
And he jumped up and caught that ball.
I'm going to tell you what made that play a success, Tom, as well. Goffstown brings pressure, and Guertin blocks it.
Yep.
They cover every guy. It looked like they blitzed one more guy than BG could block, and they handled it. That ball was thrown into double coverage,
But
too.
what a job by Lupo to go airborne
get the football.
and get the football. That's what you tell your receivers to always do.
We
Go
call it
get
high
the ball.
point. You get the ball at its highest point. That's what you teach the defensive backs as well. Lupo wanted that ball. He went up and he got it. Good things happen when that young man touches the ball.
He's got a 40-yard punt return in this game, and he's got a touchdown cast.
There's going to be a
Hisco's gonna
flag on
run.
the play here. Hisco is going to be
Short.
stacked up.
Looks short, doesn't it?
They were calling for a jet pass. It was a handoff to Hisco who's going to throw the
Flag
ball.
is on the far side of the field, down off your screen. Now there it is right there. Tim O'Neill, great job, Tim O'Neill. Upstairs on our camera, it's right at the 5-yard line, just picked up by the official.
Something tells me that's going to be a legal formation. Hisco has been on the line of scrimmage all night. Suddenly he goes in motion. You can't be on the line of scrimmage and go in motion. So that potentially could be an illegal formation. We'll have to wait and see. And we'll have to wait and see on the on the replay. So 28-6 now is the lead. No, he was off the line. Okay, my mistake, and he's in the slot. I'm not sure what the call was, but it was well covered by Goffstown, and they rallied up to stop Hisco from getting into the end zone. A well-designed play that Goffstown was ready for, and that's the beauty of having huddle and all the film available to you. Is you have your opponent broken down, you know what you're going to get, but you still have to execute it. And Goffstown comes up big on that two-point conversion. But life here for the Cardinals. They get into the end zone. Score is 28-6 with 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. You wonder if they got the ball to Lupo too little too late. We'll have to wait and see. They might be on alert here, the front five of Goffstown, for an onside kick. We'll see if they kick it deep. Number 42 kicking for Guertin. And he puts his foot into it. And here comes the dealer. And he's going to keep it. And BG had it snuffed out. Nice tackle there for the Cardinals. I believe it was number 87. That was Baker, I believe, on the takedown. So 1st and 10 here for Goffstown on their own 21-yard line. 1:55 to play here in the third quarter. Jason Roby and Tom King calling the game for NashuaETV. Tim O'Neill, the cameraman on the moving pictures. Pete Johnson, the executive producer. That speed sweep handed off to number 4, Sean Leahy. He goes for a couple. And Barillas on the tackle for BG. And Goffstown a little heavy on the hurry up here. And he gets tripped up. Does Stinnett. Otherwise, he might still be running. So they look to hurry up on that second down play, taking their time a little bit on this third down play. You got a 3-score lead.
I wouldn't run the hurry up at all. I just keep taking my time completely. Make use of that 40-second
And this
clock.
play has worked so well for them all night
really
long, and it
has.
continues to. And I'll tell you right there,
But
number
it may come
58,
back.
is it Swezik? He beat 3 blockers, got out there and made the play. There is a flag on the play.
Yep, there's laundry on the field right by the football. If you can see it right there by the official's foot, just to his.
We used to call that play, Tom. That's called 51. We called that 51. It's a play to the left side where we throw the ball to the outside receiver, and the number 2 receiver goes and blocks the corner.
Right.
And it has worked so well for Goffstown tonight. Not this time, though, as they get flagged.
People forget that, yes, as a receiver, you're looked at as somebody who's supposed to catch the football. But one of the biggest jobs of any receiver
Is to block.
Is to block.
And a lot of times, that's how you tell kids, look, you want to get on the field, you want to play?
Yep, block.
You got to block. 2-by-2 set, and he had a step on him there.
They did, and it was just a low throw.
It looked like Lupo was on the coverage, and he got beat inside by a step, and that was number 80, Jose Paez, who may have been off to the races. Inside release there. Almost cost the Cardinals. So 4th down. So the Guertin defense holds here, Tom, and that's a huge stop. They started this drive with 1:50 to go here.
Because if Goffstown chews up more clock,
you're already in the fourth quarter.
You're right, exactly.
That's a great punt right there. And that's a returnable ball for Lupo as
He's
well.
going to have to turn the corner and get out to the outside. He's
Great
not going to be able to do it.
Great coverage.
And then you know what they did there, Jason? They bottled him up on the outside. They made sure that outside lane was covered.
Well, I'll tell you what else happened, Tom. Guertin was coming after that punt.
Oh, yeah.
And the Goffstown release, there was no one back there to block
after every punt if I'm Guertin right now. You're down by 21 points.
That was a great open field tackle by number 34, Brad Baxter. And to run down Joey Lupo, you have to have the angle, and Baxter had it on that one. Great punt. So Guertin will go trips to the field. Split end to the boundary side is Hisco. We'll see if they try to continue to get the ball to Joey Lupo. Maybe they'll start this one with a trap again to Ryan Bew. We'll see. And he's going to run stretch to the outside, and they just can't get that edge. Goffstown defense too quick to give up that edge as Bew finds out. Tackled there by Stinnett and Brad Baxter. Bew just couldn't get to that edge, and a good job of stringing it out by the defensive end, number 54 for Goffstown. Just stretching that play, buying time was Nick Fragos, buying time for his outside people to get there. And that's going to bring an end to the third quarter of play here, Tom King. 28-6 Goffstown as we head to the fourth quarter. So a great night here at Stellos Stadium.
Perfect football weather.
Yeah, great football weather. Yeah, all of the seniors for the Guertin sports teams being recognized here tonight with their friends and their family, parents and loved ones on the field prior to the game for a nice ceremony. Nashua South did it here last night. Nashua North did it a couple of weeks ago. It's great to recognize those young men and women as they get ready to either go to college or the workforce or the military, whatever they might be doing down the road. It's a great experience here for kids to be involved in interscholastic athletics, be a part of a team. Whether you're winning or losing, you're learning valuable life lessons, and it's a great thing, and it will serve them well for years to come as they become young contributors to society.
But athletic departments have finally realized what sports writers think of senior nights when they do it at the start of the game.
That's right.
They have them about an hour before the game now, so
that's right.
That works out.
A great time to be a New England sports fan as well, Tom. You get the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, if you're a New England sports fan.
In the World Series. Well, I mean, as the Grizzlies shift their front, and great job by the Grizzlies, almost as if they knew they were going to run stretch to the boundary.
Guertin seems to be limited on offense with what they can do. It just seems like they're. You know, Moses is a straight drop back guy. They had him running earlier. They don't have him doing that at all now.
Right.
I really, and I'll tell you my thoughts on that in a second on what they're doing.
Well, keeping in mind you run what you run. I mean, it's you.
But here's that pass tipped on the screen.
That ball hit the ground. It should have been a dead ball. The referee, now the referee's blown it dead. Right. Yeah, BJ Neverett saw it.
John Trisciani has said to me after every game, we're just trying to see what's there.
Yeah.
We're trying to work. We're doing different things.
Sure.
We're just trying. This is almost like a laboratory for him this year.
So if you're
looked at it.
So I got to ask you, Tom.
Yep.
You're a scientist, and you're looking at this experiment. What do you see that has worked?
Right. I have an ingredient with a number 32 on the test tube.
You like that softball lob I just gave you?
I like that ingredient, and I want to use it as much as I want to put it in as many chemical mixes as possible.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
That part was blocked.
Partially blocked.
It's the third. They have blocked 3 kicks tonight, 2 punts, and 1
field goal.
Yep.
Did they get an extra point too, or was it just a field goal?
Well, they only tried 1 extra point. They tried for 2. So.
Okay.
And they went
no,
for 2.
I mean
Goffstown.
Goffstown.
Well, Guertin's only had 1 chance at an extra point. They had to run it. They ran it in.
It was the field goal then, right? That's what it was.
The field goal and 2 block punts.
Then right.
Yep. This one was just tipped. 1st and 10, Goffstown at the 35.
And they just hammer it up in there. Josh Juneau, the senior running back, through the middle of the line. positive plays on first down, Tom. That is one of the keys
That's it.
to high school football.
That's one of the things
you're
that
faced
they've
with a
done.
second, and you think of it this way: regardless of what your field position is, you've got 2 downs to get 4 yards, and really 3 downs to get 4 yards because you're not going to punt.
Stennet.
He gets the edge and he bounces outside, and he's brought down there by number 5, Austin Hisco. He was the last line
No,
of
it was
defense.
Juneau. It was Juneau.
Okay, Juneau on the carry.
Wow.
Yeah, tackled by Hisco.
With a great run.
But getting back to that original point, high school football, you have X amount of, and it seems so elementary.
Yep.
You know, you get positive yards on first down. Never go backwards. And a nice little jump cut there, and he's in. Yeah.
Guertin's tired. They're definitely tired. There's no way you can keep this pace up if you're them.
And it's a good push up front again for the Grizzlies as Juneau
You're going to get that
goes in almost untouched.
With fatigued players,
Yeah.
you know.
So 10:27 to go here from Stellos Stadium, and Goffstown will see if they can get their 35th point on the board. David Gibson to kick. He does. It is up, and it is good. So 35-6 now. Goffstown out in front, and remember, it was a 14-0 game at halftime.
And Guertin had 4 chances to put points on the board.
And they got the ball to start the second half, right? So and as you know, as a coach, having been there, the one thing I would tell Coach Trisciani is, you know, you just keep building, stay positive, and keep building. And it's something that takes time. You know, our goal when we started the program at North was to try and make the playoffs in year 5. We almost made it in year 2, but by year 5 we were in a championship game.
Yep.
And so it is doable. And we probably had no business playing a varsity schedule in 2004. With you know, we had, from that split, we had 3 kids with varsity experience. Yep. And
which was a lot of the only team that really didn't have. Well, no, I think all the North teams had that issue except basketball.
Right.
Because it's the fewest kids.
Yep. That's a good kick. That kickoff's going to be fielded by Hisco. He gets a head of steam now. See if he can pick up a block. He hits the edge, and he's going to head out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Call it the 33. So Hisco just ran out of real estate there. If he could have straightened that thing out.
10-21.
We'll see if Guertin can get some offense generated here with 10:21 to play.
Goffstown right now, 121 yards rushing.
Trips to the field, and Hisco is a split end to the boundary. And that handoff will go to number 22. Once again, Bew, and they can't get that edge. They keep trying to attack that edge with Baxter and Stinnett. They can't get it.
We don't see Lupo taking that wide run. We don't see him as a running back. I wonder what he would do as a running back.
One can only wonder. Only a junior. And, you know, I think as well they've become one-dimensional in that stretch play as Moses is not carrying the ball as much now. He's handing that ball off a little bit more. Motion. And there he goes.
Moses.
Just as I say that, Moses keeps it.
But the first time that play has been run since the opening series.
Right.
Moses on the carry, brought down by Baxter.
Have to look and see if the backside tackle pulls on that. That's called quarterback wrap. Or if he just took it on a read. If that defensive tackle or nose guard bent down the line and he read that. And maybe we'll see that on the replay. 3rd and 6 here for the Cardinals as they look to the sideline to get the play. Moses barking signals. They'll set up in a 2-by-2 setup with Bew in the backfield off off Moses' right. Flags fly. We're going to get an encroachment call, lining up a neutral zone infraction against Goffstown. So that's going to go against the Grizzlies, and that'll result in 5 yards and a 3rd and 1 here. So you'll have 2 downs to get 1 yard. I don't think Guertin's going to be punting on
No,
this possession.
they won't.
So again, like I say to you, 2 downs to get 1 yard. Oh, they're going to shift. Ooh, yippee skippy. You're going to go unbalanced, little single wing action. Oh, baby.
All sorts of stuff.
Here they come, student body right.
For Moses. And he gets it. But boy, you know what? I'd run that play for Lupo. I would run it for Lupo.
Yeah.
And see him go dart to the outside. I mean, Moses has done a good job running the ball tonight. But still, I would have done that.
I like
would've
that
done
wrinkle.
play for
I like
Lupo.
that wrinkle maybe to start the second half.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And again.
But again, this is John Trisciani's laboratory. That's how he's treating it.
And rightfully so.
Yep.
They'll go back to their base offense. We'll see if they shift into it again. They don't. And Moses will keep it. He gets stacked up. Looked like initially on the stop was number 80, Paez, Jose Paez.
Gets about 3.
So Guertin next week, very winnable game against Manchester Memorial. I think they left some points on the field tonight for sure. I think they found some things out moving forward that will help them offensively. Thought they had a real good defensive effort in the early going of this game. Trips to the field, single receiver near side. 3-step drop a little bit too high there for Hisco. That play would have resulted in about 3 yards.
It'll be interesting next year because what do you do? And I think I know what they'll do. They'll have De Silva, if he's healthy, and Moses battle it out in preseason.
And whichever one is not playing quarterback, the other one will be on the field somewhere.
Yes.
Right? And you'll have
Moses is on the field a lot defensively, I think.
This is a screen pass.
No, it's
that
not.
was
They're
doomed
gonna float
from
it
the
up.
get-go.
Yeah, what happened there?
That's a screen pass.
Nobody went out to get it. Nobody was around the 50-yard line to get that screen.
They had linemen about standing at the first down marker. No flags fly. I don't know if the officials didn't see it. They're looking to get home too. I don't know.
In terms of illegal downfield?
Yeah, well, it was a screen pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But if there was no screen guy there.
4th and 7 from the 47.
You always tell your defensive lineman if the quarterback does a 48-step drop back, it's a screen pass. Don't chase him. They're throwing here. 4th down and about 7. Taking a shot, and he's got a man. He comes back for it, and he makes the catch.
Hisco goes up for it this time and gets it.
And that's all about body position there for Hisco. He had to slow down and almost box out the defender. That was number 12, John Teixeira, who's played a pretty good game up to this point. He boxed Teixeira out, came back for the football, and made the grab.
Gain of 28. Actually, no, gain of 33. From the 47 to the 14.
That football hung up there a little bit, and so it was a dogfight for possession. And great job by Hisco. They're bringing pressure. Hisco, and the heat was coming. Hisco, I think he was looking for that route to cut itself short because of the blitz. Hisco kept running, and the ball fell about 5 yards short. So quarterback and receiver not on the same page there, although throwing off your back foot probably had something to do with that. 3-by-1 set again for the Cardinals. As Moses looks to the sideline. Coaches are calling for the snag concept. You'll see that to the trips receiver side. Someone's going to sit intermediate. We'll see if they get it off. They do. And there it is. There's the snag route. Defended perfectly by Goffstown.
I still think the catch is made. He might. If he cut to his right, he had a touchdown.
He might.
And it was for Lupo.
And he almost tips it to himself, Tom. They'll line up in the same formation, does Guertin. We call this V-trips. So we'll see how they run this one. They're just going to take
that.
That ball was tipped again.
Tipped again at the line.
Excuse me.
So
Linebacker almost made another interception. So the linebackers have been the beneficiaries of some tip balls and some underthrown passes in the middle of that Goffstown defense. 4th down and 10 here. Guertin can get a first down. You don't need a touchdown.
But you know what? In this case, you're this close.
You might take a shot.
I think you're gonna
take a shot.
And I'll tell you where I take it. Let's see. Where's Lupo lined up?
He's going
on
to
the
roll the Lupo
outside.
side.
And there he is. They're going to throw it
Great
down the middle
play.
and caught for a touchdown.
He is in, and I'll tell you, that's a great reception there. That was 87-pound Baker on the reception.
You know, I was going to ask tonight where Baker was, because he hasn't been part of this offense, and he's been part of it in the past.
Yep. Baker makes a great catch back towards the middle of the field. And it looked like Goffstown over-pursued a little bit, almost an underthrown ball. Comes back for it, gets into the end zone. So a great catch, Moses to Baker. Well done. And I might add, Moses rolling to his left, throwing against his body. And a swing pass there, defended. And he's driving for the end zone. He's going to fall just short, does Bew.
Bew, I tell you, Bew does not go down easily, does he?
No, he keeps
done
those
that all
legs
game.
churning.
All game, he keeps those legs going.
You know, he's a senior, 5'11", 160, 161 pounds listed here. His last home game at Stellos Stadium. He's going to give you everything he's got, no doubt about that. So Guertin gets their second score up on the board. They trail Goffstown 35-12, but you see that fighting spirit, and that's going to serve them well moving forward here, Tom.
As I said, the future isn't now for them; it's next year. That's where that's.
And if you're John Trisciani, I think the important message you give the kids is, look, you can't look at the final scores.
Right.
Let's look at how we played. Let's look at the areas that we need to improve on, and the scores will take care of themselves based on those things.
Exactly. He'll see the positive things and he'll see the negative things, and he'll have to relay that to his team on Monday.
Unfortunately, high school kids, they often look at the final score and say, you know, that's what we are, and that's not always the case. There are ways to, I don't want to say manipulate the information, but there are little things here and there that make a huge difference in a high school football game. And that ball is a live ball touching the field of play, but that's going to be in for a touchback. It doesn't matter in high school football. If you touch it and it goes into the end zone, it's a touchback regardless. So that went through the hands of Benjamin Dodge, and the Guertin defense will come out and see if they can get another stop. And I say again, 14-0 at halftime. This game a lot closer than this score indicates right now. The Grizzlies appear to have their ones still in the game. 6.5 minutes to play, give or take. And the ball's on the carpet. The ball is on the carpet, and it looks like Guertin's got it. And they do.
Yes.
And they do. So
it was either Holt or Chris Barillis who got it. Couldn't tell which.
So 1st and 10 for Guertin. They'll see if they can get their third score on the board here. Still 6:14 to play in this one. Mata Field at Stellos Stadium. Devin Amaral, the lone receiver, to the short side of the field. And they're going to try a wheel route, well covered.
And thrown away.
Yeah.
Smart play by Moses.
Yeah, Moses sees that Teixeira is out there running with Hisco and wisely throws that out of bounds. Although, all things being equal, maybe you throw it short and let them go up and battle for it again. We always used to say it never mattered how fast the corner was. Because if your receiver's taller than the corner, he's going to run your speed. And
he's just got to get the ball. And Hisco goes up and gets the ball because that was a high throw.
Yeah, the first time we've seen him run in on the slant.
Yep.
And the dangerous high throw, you never want to expose your receiver's ribs like that on a slant route, but Hisco makes the stab and pulls it down. 3rd down and about 3 now for the Cardinals. And they're going to, it looks like they're going to stay in that tight V-trips formation here. And they're going to the single receiver side. And
dropped.
And you know what he did there, Tom? I'll tell you, I watched it.
He turned and looked.
Yeah, he looked where he was going before he caught that ball.
Turned and looked. The defender had gotten over there by the time he caught it. But for a split second, he was wide open.
A nice ball there, I might add, by Moses. So they face a 4th down here. And they'll send Hisco over into the slot, lining up next to Amaral. Lupo in the slot down here with Baker. And they're taking a shot, and he's got him, and that's a touchdown.
That was a good hesitation by Hisco. The defender was fooled a little bit when he hesitated, but then Hisco was able to get it into the next gear, and a great throw by Moses.
And I'll tell you something you're going to see right there, Tom, that you're not going to read about in the paper or see on the replays. Every one of those Guertin kids on the field ran over to meet Hisco in the end zone.
Yep, exactly.
That has nothing to do with score. That has to do with character and program building.
A 15-yard touchdown pass from Moses to Hisco. Moses now 11 of 28 for 148. I've got it.
And there's a few drops in there.
Yep,
that
there's
could
a lot. Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
They'll go for 2 here. 1-step drop, and I'll tell you right now. Let me tell you, the Cardinals sin for Teixeira. Teixeira backed up.
He backed up.
When you're on the goal line, the first thing you tell that kid is you do not back up. And he did. And they catch the ball in front of you. It's a 2-point conversion. So now, with 5:25 to play, you're 2 scores down.
Yep.
You're 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points away from taking the lead in this thing. Certainly, that's a big hill to climb, but you're in this. You're playing for something. So these Guertin kids are to be commended for continuing to play hard, continuing to persevere, and they have something good to show, and they're going to build on this. Not to mention, you have a Goffstown team right now that's trying to get in the playoffs, and they have to keep their heads in this game. Have to wonder, Tom, the onside kick. It's got to be coming. And Goffstown not set up like they're expecting it. And just a squib kick, and that's a good returnable ball for Goffstown. Hold on to that ball, because they're going to strip it. They don't.
They're going to try. They'll try every play now to strip that football.
He's running with that ball to the field side with one arm on it. And if I'm Justin Huff, I'm saying, listen, we're not looking to return this thing for a touchdown. We're looking to keep the ball. 2 hands on the ball. So Guertin will see if they can play some inspired defense here. The beneficiary of a fumble on that last possession that resulted in a Guertin touchdown. See if they can get the ball turned over again. They got everybody in the box right now. Good stick there. Looked like Kyle Baker on the initial hit.
Still, though, can they stop that running game?
Well,
I think Goffstown gets themselves into trouble.
Here's the
when
problem.
they're throwing the ball. I think that they need to just keep running the ball and run the clock out. They made that mistake earlier.
Right, and the thing that Guertin has to do now is they can't be patient defensively. They got to get, and you see right now, they have, 9 guys in the box right now, or 8 guys in the box within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Problem is if they get by the first level, he's gone. They stack him up. That's going to bring up a big third down and 1.
Yep.
And what you tell as the coaches, what you tell them is first guy stand him up, second and third guy strip the ball. Don't bring him to the ground. Hold the guy up so that we can get in there and strip the ball. They're going to give Goffstown a first down there. That surprises
me. That surprises me a lot.
I don't think he gave
bad spot. He did not get to that marker.
I don't think so.
No doubt about it. Did not get to that marker.
So 1st and 10 for Goffstown. That's a huge play. Long count trying to draw Guertin off sides. They're going to hold the ball here. They're waiting.
That's a good job by them. You got to stay disciplined.
And there you go.
And what happens is that lulls the defense to sleep a little bit. They get impatient.
Yeah.
And Juno just pops right through.
And that's the play they've been running all night, Tom. They just haven't been able to stop that inside zone or that trap play. I need to watch the offensive line action, but they just have not been able to stop that play. And if I'm Justin Huff, I'm running that play again. I'm running it until they
stop it. Yeah, exactly. With 3:48 to go and the clock running. Guertin with all 3 timeouts left. Down 15, 35-20.
Yeah, they're lulling him asleep.
There they go.
Yeah, it's just an inside zone right there.
There it is.
That was man-on-man blocking, and that's basically Goffstown saying, "Hey, listen, we don't need to pull, we don't need to trap. We're gonna block you man-on-man and just push you back and run." And as we say that, looks like there's a flag and maybe the spot of holding. It looks like. Juno has made his hay on that particular play.
He's had a good night. He wasn't carrying the ball early, but he's been carrying it a lot now.
And you said it, Tom. You're wearing down the front of Guertin a little bit there, and I think that's what's happened here. Is those boys, those big boys up front for Goffstown are leaning on the Guertin front, just moving them. And I'll tell you, I'm running the same play again because even though there was a penalty, they still had 10 seconds run off the clock. We'll see if they do it to the other side. Looks like, nope, they're going to pull. Looks like power. I don't know if they pulled both guys on that to lead him to the dance, but he picked up about 7 yards maybe. Ringo on the tackle. Not before a pretty sizable gain there.
He's got 150
Hey, Tom,
yards.
this just in. The $1 million Mega Millions ticket was sold in Nashua.
I didn't get it.
I didn't buy one.
I didn't buy one. Yep. Juno again. Wow. For about 4. Wow, it was sold here.
Sold in Nashua.
Wow.
But just the $1 million one, right? Not the bazillion dollar one.
All right.
I went to buy one last night, and they told me someone had won for the Mega Millions.
And they shut it off? They didn't let you buy
it?
it?
Said 0. I couldn't buy one, so I bought one of the Powerball.
Powerball, yeah.
Yep. But I have the receipt at home. It says $0 balance for the Mega Millions. And again, milking the clock as they should is Goffstown. They wait till the referee puts his arm up and they run it. And that's good discipline up front. It's going to be 4th down, and they're going to go for it, I would imagine here. You run another play, you're going to run off another 30, 40 seconds. So for all intents and purposes, this one is over. But I really like the fighting spirit of Guertin Tom King at the end of this game. And you have to wonder, had they been able to do some of that in the 3rd quarter, would it be a different game? but there's definitely some things that Guertin can build on here moving forward. And Coach Trisciani, I'm sure, is going to stay positive with his young team. And guess who again? Josh Juneau on the carry.
132 by my count.
He got the first down there to Juneau. And so that looked like Barillas on the tackle. And Juneau comes out of the game. They replace him. Number 43. That's Jeffrey Hager. 5'11", 197-pounder. We'll round that up to 200. Big push there up front. Guertin stacks him up for a minimal gain of 2. 38 seconds and counting here. Mata Field at Stellos Stadium. Jason Roby and Tom King. Nashua's ETV. Tim O'Neill on the moving pictures. Pete Johnston, the executive producer. Been a great night for high school football as Goffstown goes into our favorite play, the victory formation. They'll take a knee, and that's going to bring
There you go. Take
close.
a knee, Jason Roby. That's what we ask people to do. Take a knee.
Tom King's article.
Take a knee.
Classy move. And this one is in the books. Your final score, Goffstown 35, Bishop Guertin 20. These Guertin Cardinals will face Manchester Memorial on the road next week. A very winnable ball game. Coach John Trisciani's going to be chomping at the bit to get another victory for his Cardinal team, his second one. I want to thank you all for watching here tonight, and hope to see you soon. For Tom King, I am Jason Roby signing off from Stellos Stadium. Good night, everybody.